You think America stands alone? Think again. Donald Trump's aggressive foreign policy, from threatening to buy Greenland to slapping record tariffs on China, has a dirty little secret. Behind every strongman stance is a list of nations he simply cannot afford to lose. Here are the 10 countries Trump can't survive without. Number 1 on the list of America's top trading partners is China, a country whose economic influence has grown at a staggering pace over the past few decades. From the bustling streets of Shanghai to the high-tech factories dotting the countryside, China has become the world's manufacturing powerhouse. Its rise has been nothing short of meteoric, transforming not only its own economy but also the global supply chain. Today, China is the single largest source of imported goods for the United States, a position it has held for years despite mounting political tensions and economic challenges. Even as the U.S. government has imposed tariffs, some reaching as high as 145%, on a wide range of Chinese products, American consumers and businesses continue to rely heavily on goods made in China. Last year alone, more than 9 out of every $100 spent on imports in the United States went to Chinese products. These goods range from everyday essentials like clothing, toys, and electronics, to more specialized items such as machinery, medical equipment, and advanced technology components. The sheer scale of trade between the two countries is staggering, with billions of dollars worth of goods crossing the Pacific every month. But China's influence goes far beyond just finished products. The country is also a critical supplier of raw materials and components that are essential to modern life. Take rare earth minerals, for example. These are the building blocks for everything from your iPhone screen to the batteries in electric vehicles and even the guidance systems in advanced military hardware. China controls the vast majority of the world's rare earth mineral supply, giving it enormous leverage in global technology and defense industries. This dominance means that, whether you realize it or not, a piece of China is likely present in the devices you use every day and the infrastructure that powers the modern world. The relationship between the United States and China is complex, marked by both cooperation and competition. On one hand, American companies depend on Chinese factories for affordable goods and components, which helps keep prices low for consumers. On the other hand, concerns about intellectual property theft, unfair trade practices, and national security have led to a series of trade disputes and escalating tariffs. Despite these challenges, the economic ties between the two countries remain strong, and it's clear that decoupling their supply chains would be a monumental task with far-reaching consequences for both economies. Now, let's turn our attention to number 2 on the list, Mexico. As America's southern neighbor, Mexico plays a vital role in the U.S. economy, especially when it comes to manufacturing and cross-border trade. The two countries share a border that stretches nearly 2,000 miles, and every day, millions of dollars worth of goods flow back and forth across this boundary. From automotive parts to fresh produce, Mexico supplies a vast array of products that are essential to American businesses and consumers. One of the most significant sectors impacted by this relationship is the automotive industry. Many of the cars and trucks on American roads today are the result of intricate supply chains that span both countries. Engines might be assembled in Mexico, while final assembly takes place in the United States. This level of integration means that any disruption, whether from trade disputes, border closures, or new tariffs, could bring American car factories to a standstill. In fact, some experts say that without the steady flow of parts and materials from Mexico, the U.S. auto industry would grind to a halt almost overnight. The importance of Mexico to the U.S. economy is reflected not just in manufacturing, but also in agriculture, electronics, and countless other industries. Despite political rhetoric and efforts to rebrand or reshape the relationship, such as proposals to rename the Gulf of Mexico, the reality is that the two economies are deeply intertwined. American companies have invested billions of dollars in Mexican factories and infrastructure, creating jobs and fostering economic growth on both sides of the border. Of course, this close relationship is not without its challenges. Trade probes and investigations frequently target Mexican industries, raising questions about labor standards, environmental practices, and fair competition. Yet, despite these hurdles, the flow of goods and capital continues unabated. Every day, fleets of trucks cross the border, carrying everything from avocados to auto parts, while business leaders on both sides negotiate deals and partnerships that drive economic growth. In the end, billions of dollars in cross-border business underscore just how vital Mexico is to the American economy, and how deeply the two countries' futures are linked. Number 3 is Japan. While Trump launches unfair trade probes against Japan's auto sector, Japanese carmakers employ hundreds of thousands of Americans. Cutting them off would crash the United States market. Number 4 is South Korea. Targeted in trade investigations, yet South Korean semiconductors and EVs are critical to United States tech. Without Seoul, American electronics get very expensive. Number 5 on our list is Vietnam, a country that has rapidly transformed itself into one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic economies. Once known primarily for its agricultural exports, Vietnam has, over the past decade, become a manufacturing powerhouse, attracting global attention for its remarkable economic growth and resilience. The vibrant cities of Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi are now bustling hubs of commerce, innovation, and opportunity, drawing in both local entrepreneurs and international investors. Vietnam found itself on Trump's tariff hit list during the US-China trade war, but this challenge quickly turned into an opportunity. As American companies looked for ways to avoid the tariffs imposed on Chinese goods, many shifted their supply chains to Vietnam. This strategic move allowed U.S. businesses to continue importing goods at competitive prices, while also fueling Vietnam's export-driven economy. The country's skilled workforce, competitive labor costs, and improving infrastructure made it an attractive alternative to China for manufacturing everything from textiles to electronics. As a result, Vietnam's exports to the United States surged by an impressive 23% last year, making it one of the fastest-growing trade partners for the U.S. This surge not only highlights Vietnam's growing importance in global supply chains, but also underscores the shifting dynamics of international trade in the wake of geopolitical tensions. Now, let's turn our attention to number 6 on the list, India. India, the world's most populous democracy and a rapidly growing economic giant, has also faced its share of trade tensions with the United States. The Trump administration imposed 25% tariffs on a range of Indian goods, citing concerns over market access and India's decision to purchase oil from Russia. These penalties were intended to pressure India into aligning more closely with U.S. foreign policy and trade interests. However, India's vast and diverse economy, which spans from agriculture to high-tech industries, has proven remarkably resilient in the face of these challenges. Despite the tariffs and penalties, India has continued to strengthen its economic ties with the United States. In a significant move, India recently signed a trade deal with Washington to reduce tariffs on key goods to 18%. This agreement not only demonstrates India's willingness to engage in constructive dialogue, but also highlights the strategic importance of the Indian market for American businesses. With a rapidly expanding middle class, a thriving tech sector, and a growing appetite for international products, India represents a crucial partner for the U.S. in the years ahead. The evolving trade relationship between these two nations is a testament to the complex, interconnected nature of the global economy, and a reminder that, even in times of tension, cooperation and mutual benefit can prevail. Number 7 is Germany. As the EU's powerhouse, Germany faces auto tariffs, but BMW and Mercedes build massive plants in the U.S. A trade war here, well, it kills American jobs. Number 8 is Saudi Arabia, on Trump's board of peace and a key ally. Oil prices and Middle East strategy depend on Riyadh. Without them, gas prices spike. Number 9 is Israel, a permanent member of Trump's board of peace and a strategic partner against Iran. Intelligence and military ties make this relationship non-negotiable. Number 10 is the United Arab Emirates, another board of peace member and financial hub. UAE investment in U.S. real estate and tech is just too big to ignore. Throughout his presidency, and even beyond, Donald Trump has built his reputation on being a tough negotiator, someone who isn't afraid to talk tough on tariffs, trade, and territory. He's made headlines around the world for his bold statements and aggressive policies, often positioning himself as the ultimate dealmaker who can bring other nations to the table on America's terms. But as we've explored in this video, the reality is far more complex than the headlines suggest. Behind the scenes, there are 10 countries that hold significant leverage over the United States, and by extension, over Trump himself. These nations aren't just passive players, they are active participants in a global economic and political system that is deeply interconnected. Whether it's through vital trade relationships, strategic alliances, or control over essential resources, these countries have the power to influence American policy in ways that often go unnoticed by the general public. Trump may project strength and independence, but the truth is, he can't simply dictate terms without considering the interests and responses of these powerful nations. In many ways, they hold the leash, shaping the boundaries of what's possible for any American leader, no matter how forceful their rhetoric. The global stage is a complex chessboard, and even the most powerful players must recognize the moves and countermoves of others. For Trump, and for the United States as a whole, these 10 countries represent both opportunities and challenges. They are partners in trade, competitors in technology, and sometimes rivals in geopolitics. The balance of power is constantly shifting, and no single nation can afford to ignore the influence of others. As we look to the future, it's clear that America's fate is tied to its relationships with these key countries. No matter how tough the talk, survival and success depend on cooperation, negotiation, and sometimes compromise. The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If you found this video insightful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your family, friends, colleagues, and everyone you know, because understanding the true dynamics of global power is more important now than ever. Make sure you share it on all your WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, and Telegram groups. The more people who are informed about how international relationships really work, the better equipped we all are to understand the news, make informed decisions, and engage in meaningful conversations about the future of our world. Your single share could spark a discussion, change a perspective, or even inspire someone to learn more about the forces shaping our lives. So take a moment right now, hit that share button, and help spread the word. And, while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By hitting that red subscribe button, you'll make sure you never miss out on our latest videos, deep dives, and exclusive insights into the world of politics, economics, and international affairs. Join our growing community of curious minds who want to stay ahead of the curve and understand the bigger picture. Your support helps us create more content like this, and it only takes a second. So go ahead, subscribe now, turn on notifications, and be part of the conversation. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.